So, all right. Well, I don't remember seeing these ships yesterday, so yeah, it looks like a new strat. Right.
Yes.
Green team in this game will be TORAZ on the Northern Spawn on Sea of Fortune in Game 1 of this best of 3 against Silk, and they are going to be running a Conqueror, Kremlin, Worcester, Napoli, Moscow, Stalingrad, Gearing, Kleber, Shimakaze.
Silk are bringing in Montana, Kremlin, Minotaur, Napoli, Nevsky, Girin, Double Marceau, Shimakaze.
That's a whole different lineup than we saw last time. So Durak, why Montana?
General quarters.
You're not Henning, but I'm going to ask you the same question I asked him.
Because you're a Kilobin admirer.
Yeah. Okay, so
I mean,
I'm gonna have a look
Montana
at
brings Montana basically just brings 12 guns instead of 8, which is your option. Well, they can't bring in Ohio because it's one Kremlin or one Ohio. So they probably wanted to bring in Ohio, and Montana is as close as you can get to bringing in Ohio.
That's a Dazzle Gearing. That's Dazzle Gearing, the red one. And the Dazzle Shimakaze. Silk or Dazzle Enjoyers. We've discovered this much. Okay, what else we got here? Anything else spicy? Moscow with a fire prevention module. What do you call it? The damage control module? You know the one. The one that goes in the prop mod slot. So he's potentially at risk of getting cross-mapped if he's not paying too much attention. Conqueror with engine mod on the Conqueror. Cool. Okay, I like this. Engine mod on this.
So,
Kremlin.
It's important to note that the Silk strat isn't that the composition isn't that different to their last to the strats yesterday, the comps yesterday, because I'm pretty sure Nevsky was banned, so they've replaced their Worcester with the ship it should have been, and they seem to have just plopped a couple of Marceaus into it and said that'll do. I kind of like the deployments look very similar, so I do have my concerns.
Well, let's get into these deployments. So, over the A cap, we have Napoli and Shimakaze with the green team. B cap is going to be solo manned by a Kremlin. C cap, not B cap. C cap was Kremlin and Moscow, and there's a Moscow that's currently spotted to take some shots. Over the D cap 9-10 line, we have the Kleber already there, and then everything else is going to be in this big stack line here. So that's Stalingrad, Conqueror, and it looks like Gearing and Worcester, Kazima? No, yeah, Gearing, Worcester. Why do you want to go Worcester? Red team, what have you got?
So the Reds are bringing in a Shimakaze over to B cap with a Napoli following. Marceau and the Kremlin are going to go between B and C. C cap is being left empty this time, which is the main difference. And over at D cap, they have a Minotaur, Nevsky, Montana, Girin, and Marceau.
Kleber does get spotted here over on the 9-10 line, so he will be aware that he is being marked by potentially the other French destroyer, because what else can have the speed to get over there? So you should have the intel that there's at least one of the two Marceaus over there. However, he doesn't know there's both there, because the second Marceau hasn't been spotted.
Lovecat's Marceau might be about to meet a pair of Kleber torps, at least one.
Oh, that's an unfortunate start. 12,000 HP just gone like that, and he dumps his own torps back. He's like, yes. All right, shells coming out from the Minotaur as well, because that Kleber was spotted again. Not going to be catching him.
So the main difference here from Silk is yesterday Silk were contesting the C cap with a Daring and St. Vincent, I believe it was.
Yeah, they ran a St. Vincent in the middle of it. It was a whole thing.
And they tried to contest it from the south with Daring. This time they look like they're going to do it with the Marceau instead. I don't really know what the Kremlin's position's all about. I imagine it's going to push up when they feel like they no longer have to counter the counter strat to their strat.
Well, the Kremlin can walk up there and either walk to the home cap or turn hard right and go into C from the inside of the gap where the Cathedral Island is. I'm watching this Worcester Gearing here because that Kleber is just having to give up ground. He's being smoked. He's being pushed by Nevsky Gearing. He's like not going to be able to hold this. And this is the thing. I don't understand the Worcester when Nevsky is available. Like, okay, now Minotaur radar comes out, doesn't quite pick up the Worcester, but he's riding that borderline so close. Like, that's all. And if you got spotted there, you got Montana waiting for shots, you got Nevsky waiting for shots.
Yeah, I feel like that might be an intentional one as well, because they will have known that that's where the Minotaur was living yesterday, and they know we can probably get away with that, which is why the Worcester's on the absolute edge of that smoke.
I think I've discovered the Kremlin's purpose for that position. Look at the Moskva.
Yes, so this is what that red Kremlin, if if it had been further forward, it would have been in danger from the green shimmer, but it would have had shots on that Moskva when it was reversing away from the Montana shot.
I think he already did that. I think that's how OM40 so low already. I think he got cross-mapped by that Kremlin there. And now we have Nevsky raining down upon its face while the Minotaur radar is picking it up.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean,
he's got
the
so much
Moskva does have
unhealable.
Montana shots are landing in through its deck repeatedly here. When they hit.
Oh, that's a dead
Not like-
Moskva. Like, there's no way they get this Moskva out. They've already used this this gearing smokescreen. Speaking of the gearing smokescreen, like, the gearing is currently radared in front of that Nevsky. But Nevsky's not interested in the gearing. He just wants to kill this Moskva, and I understand this. It's like, right, we have this Moskva down to 10,000 health right at the start of the game on double fire. No Damacon available for 20 seconds. Heal is currently running. He's out of 4,000 HP. He should be going down. There's no way you save this right now.
Yeah, if these Montana shells are good, it's going to go down regardless of the heal running, but just the one hit, so it's going to survive for the duration of its heal, more or less, and then...
Fires go out.
The Montana shells are keeping that heal in check, and the minnow gets involved. With the minnow involved, that's a done deal. It's just, yeah. And there we go. That's the first ship lost.
TORAZ down 1-0 in ship count. Currently going to be 1 down on caps as well because the Master has to see.
Yeah, and with that Nevsky radar on the Ninth of the World,
gearing got caught.
Silk. Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. They have, with that Nevsky radar, though, they have confirmed that TORAZ have deployed so much over here that they can probably do what the hell they want with that Kremlin at the home cap.
Well, I'm not. Look, the Napoli just took shimmer torps. Napoli over on the. Yeah, that's 2 torps there. This is the thing as well. We saw that Shaft elected to ban Shimakaze yesterday because when last time we watched this, we saw fantastic Shimakaze torps taken out of Ragnar position outside the sea cap. And they say, you know what, we don't want to deal with the Shimakaze over here. Meanwhile, the counter Shimakaze, the one that can actually spot and trade with it in front of the opposing Napoli, he does have a Moskva there, but this... Actually, that's not a Moskva, that's a Kremlin. I'm very blind.
Yeah, so if the Kremlin turns up to go north here, it might actually be in danger of eating return Shimakaze torps.
Speaking of return torps, if we look north of the B cap very briefly, we see Kremlin taking... Oh! Ouch! That's 5 Marceau torps.
5 Marceau torps, yeah.
That's not a nice experience.
So what's the aim here? Is this Kremlin going across to just hard push through D? Is it although now it's lost half of its health pool to encourage that push. And Montana shots coming in on the broadside, doing another little chunk there.
And the Marceau's going for the fire as well because he knows Damacon's down, get some fires burning.
Yeah, the Worcester has pushed all the way up as well up to the D cap and behind that island. Has lost half its health to do so.
I mean, he's got the position now. Can they do anything with it, though? Minotaur radar comes out. Marceau is now going to free farm the bow of the gearing.
And the Worcester is caught by the Minnow radar. Minnow is firing on it. Nevsky's firing on it. That's the dangerous position to be in.
Yeah. Minotaur radar is about to expire. The Worcester may also be about to expire because there's a gearing. Actually, no, he's not spotted anymore. He's just riding the edge of that radar from the Nevsky. He's back in it.
Yeah, he went forward to dodge the minnow shots, and
more shells.
His heal is running.
He's dark again. More shells coming in from the Minotaur. 4,000, 3,500. Shells still landing. Blind fire coming in from the Nevsky as well. Also, during all that, Lovecat took even more damage in his Marceau.
Yeah, trying to. It's got a damage control in 3 seconds. It can survive that fire. There it is. Damage control's hit.
He's just limping around. He's like...
Oh!
Conqueror comes in for whatever reason.
Nevsky wants that kill. Nevsky knows where it is. Still landing hits.
He's gonna go down. He has to go down here, right? Oh, too much.
Still landing hits. I think one of those kills it.
Oh! The Minotaur's decided he wants to... No, he's
meanwhile, over at the home caps, a Shimakaze's about to die. Or not.
Nope. No, he's not.
So back on my screen, those 2 torps went underneath the entirety of the Shimakaze, like at midships.
That's called desync. Get used to it.
That is called desync. Worcester on 489 health is going to get a heal in 20 seconds and be back up a decent amount of health.
I mean... It's a 400 HP Wooster. He has no right to be alive. CPR in the gearing and come smoke him up, but like, oh, we had more shells spinning? They're still trying to blind fire the position. Minotaur's going for the blind fire in the same position as well. They want that kill on the Wooster.
They do. They know that they've just essentially been robbed. They've actually just been mugged at the bus stop there. The Shimikazes have spotted each other at ACAP.
Yeah, that's a whole thing happening.
Pathfinder taking a chunk of damage from Frederica's Napoli.
Kremlin style coming in towards the broadside of that Napoli as well, actually. I mean, it's
Silk
full long
are
range
determined
dispersion.
to take that horrendous long range dispersion.
Right, so it looks like the Wooster's limped away. He's okay, he's alive, he's out. You go to the corner of the map, you stay there, you are floating points, you are not a part of this battle anymore. The fact that you're alive with your crew is a miracle.
The minnow is doing a thing.
Oh no.
It's the only description I have for it.
Is it a smart thing?
Well, it's in the open.
He's going for the radar on the Wooster, and he just missed it.
Yeah, he just... that was a play to get the Wooster on the radar. It looks like it's going home again.
Stealth
Back to
radar.
its island to hide.
Yeah, Wooster, I mean, so Minotaur does have access to stealth radar. Like, you know, you can radar without being spotted yourself. So it was a nice try, a nice dive. Just didn't work out for him. And they don't know that he blew that radar for them. So he still has that potential. I'm over here and I'm going to radar you if you come into sea threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Kremlin over at ABC, they're working on this Napoli of Gamer. At one point, there was a red Shimikaze trying to farm it in open water with guns, mostly because of the green Shima smoke providing cover.
Well, currently we have a 3-cap advantage because I don't think this, like, if this Shimikaze pushes that one out of the cap, you know. Wait, is he turning back bow in? Pathfinder turning back bow in? He's going to run face first into the Marceau and Shimikaze here. This is going to be a very painful experience.
Yeah, he knows the Marceau's there and he's turned out, but is it enough?
No, it is not. He gets spotted. He just gets hard spotted. The other Shimikaze is going to be opened up for it as well. And he doesn't have a smoke. I think he just gets ran down here. I mean, Napoli's trying.
Napoli will be looking. Kremlin will be looking here.
Kleber's looking as well. They're all trying to, like, take this Marceau off the back of their Shimikaze, but here comes the salvos.
Kremlin shots are out for the Shima. That's it. The Kremlin. The Napoli beats it to there, but the.
Oh, the Marceau goes down for it, though!
Trade.
Okay, that's, you don't deserve that kill, but
just nukes that Marceau. The Conqueror's down on 272 health.
Second time they've had a ship sub 300 HP, and they just can't get these kills.
Are still in the air.
They just can't get these kills over here.
So while we went over there to look at the DD on DD action, this Conqueror was just getting farmed down in the background. It's gotten away on 272 health, but it only has 1 heal left, and it cannot heal much. It's about to do it.
It's still a Conqueror. It can bulk heal that much. It looks like he must have took some torpedoes in there for that to be like... The Nevsky, if it was just the Nevsky farming... Oh, he's decided to shoot!
Yeah. He's after the Minotaur. Minotaur in the open, short fuse AP coming across the map. Has the Minnow seen it? Oh no.
Ooh, big hit onto the Minotaur. The Minotaur did catch that gearing.
The Minnow is very lucky. A lot of those shells, I think, landed high because it can still heal a lot of that damage from the Conqueror.
Yeah, there wasn't any citadels in that. Okay, points are currently ticking for Silk. 3 caps to 1. 3 minutes left on the play clock.
The Silk Montana's in a lot of trouble here.
Oh yeah, those are a lot of Shimikaze. Oh, those Shimikaze torpedoes? They are torpedoes.
They're gearing torps. He's gotten through the torps, and the Wooster that they left on 400 health, is now going to return the investment of survival.
Oh, long range salvo from the Montana back onto the Kremlin though. Let me start onto the Conqueror though. The Conqueror is mega low still. Like, there's no more healing left. This could be a good chunk onto him.
Stalingrad of Captain Dan's trying to get involved in the Montana as well. That Monty just needs to dive the island. It'll cut the sight lines from the gearing, and it will survive if it does that. And the gearing's also enabling that move.
The problem is, TORAZ have got 2 minutes to step on a cap.
They do, and I think that's what the gearing's going to do here. The gearing is turning in towards sea. Is that a torp rush the Montana and step on the cap at the same time? I don't see another option for them.
I mean, their options are somehow to either step back on their home cap, and then that's not even going to be enough. They need to step back on the home cap, and they need to kill this Montana, and take that cap, and take the home cap. Not lose any ships in the process. Maybe they can pick up a kill down here if they push the Stalingrad forward, but he's just sat there the entire game. He's on full HP. He needs to make a move.
And they can't step on the home cap with the Kleber, because it will just get one shot by the Kremlin, and the green Kremlin
Oh.
eating Shima Torps. And here comes the shots out on the green Kleber as it pushes for the home cap. It knows they need to touch it, but there's a Minotaur there, and the Kremlin, and the Napoli. It's
CPR in his green gear and got spotted by the Montana, so he's about to take a big slap here in the background. Or not.
looks the Montana.
He's gone for the
doesn't
Kremlin.
quite
He's gone for the
have
Kremlin.
shots, but- Yeah, the Montana's been firing pretty consistently on that Kremlin. The Minotaur has just decided my life is worth giving to get this Kleber kill.
The Shimakazu's also decided the same thing and started like open water gunboat. And Kleber goes down
Ends in 5 minutes.
Kremlin shots out
950
for the Minnow.
points.
The Minnow is fine. It just nopes out of those shots without an issue. And it looks like Silk are actually about to take decap. They don't need to. They don't need the cap, but they want the Wooster kill. I see. That's understandable.
It's like,
You
we
got away
left
from us
you on
once, you're not
400
getting away
HP.
again. But it's on 500 just now. There we
Heal
go. And it goes
this.
down, and that ends the.
Silk say heal this to that Wooster, and he goes down 1-0 in this series. He's going to be going over to Silk.
You know, there you go. That is the alternate strat that we were looking for.
Yeah?
I feel like that was a lot stronger strat for them than the strat we seen for Silk against Shaft as well. I think they won the first time round as we were saying, but I think it was a struggle for them to play like that. But they clearly enjoyed that strat.
That was an experience. It was definitely an experience on that map.
The little Wooster that could, but then couldn't, unfortunately.
That little Wooster who was a complete and utter train wreck, yes.
If they had, I don't know. I think TORAZ just didn't like. They got one kill over the whole match.
I don't understand the Wooster choice.
I don't understand the Wooster choice, and they just didn't. For them to have lost so many ships and only have killed one, I don't understand what they were. Was it a lack of focus fire? I don't think it was a lack of focus fire.
Well,
I just think the Silk ships were just a lot better at noping out of things, right?
I think that Stalingrad must have got perma-beached or something because he just sat there the entire game. Like he's still on full HP right at the end. He just didn't get involved.
Because you can see that in the Silk play as well. They all just left. Like
Yeah.
they seen the Stalingrad was staying up there, so they just left it alone. They didn't try and kill it. They just it can only shoot certain spots on the map. We're just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, that was like that Stalingrad needed to push out a while ago and like basically dissuade them from pushing out. Like if he came out, he could have done something against Minotaur. He could have helped against Nevsky. Sure, he would have got farmed a bit. I mean, there was a fair few ships down there, but it's better to get farmed a bit and like actually have some impact rather than your team be down a ship just because you know you don't want to leave that
it had
position.
to be perma-beached. It had to be. And I know there's been a few problems. Like I know a few maps have had issues with these sort of spots, and that's not a spot you would normally go to in most battles.
I've
So
seen
maybe-
that spot. No, that spot gets used competitively quite a lot in the
Yeah, in
Stalingrad.
competitive it does. Yeah, but, I'm talking about like in randoms where you were more likely to encounter all the weird beaching spots and stuff like that and get it reported.
I've been on that.
You know,
spot.
like
I think I have been in that spot in randoms, and I did perma beach there, but I drifted into it, and I don't think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be one of the problem spots, but because outside of competitive, it's not that well used. It's not been reported as enough to be fixed. I don't know. I hope that was a perma beach and not just a choice to tell that Stalingrad to sit there and watch its team
Die. Yeah.
lose.
I mean, like, even if he pushed forward, he could have like took the heat off the Conqueror and the Wooster while they were super low.
Although I'm not sure. I say I hope it was a perma beach. From a competitive thinking point of view and from a strat point of view, I hope it was a perma beach. But for the player, if it was a perma beach, I can only imagine pure rage.
Oh yeah.
Which is not an enjoyable time.
Speaking of not an enjoyable time for cruisers, guess what map we're about to go to, Jurek?
It's Tears of the Cruiser. And have you run the map intro?
No, I will do that very momentarily, like nowish.
Off the North African coast, an arid expanse of the Mediterranean Sea plays host to opposing forces as they battle it out for control of the seas. Amongst these sun-blasted islands, where enemy fire isn't the only bad way to die, only one team will triumph. This is Tears of the Desert. Tears of the Desert is a 42 by 42 kilometer domination style map with 3 capture points running in a line from northwest to southeast. The A cap is in the top left, B is in the center, and C is in the bottom right. Capture Area A has enough island cover nearby for teams to sneak in a radar cruiser and cover the capture zone. In center, Cap B has superb island cover near the center that allows destroyers to contest the area from behind shelter. Capture Point C is similar to Capture Point A. There is enough cover for nearby cruisers who want to defend it, but very little cover in the cap itself. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Tears of the Desert.
Which one's the green team?
Green
CPR,
team is
greens.
TORAZ.
Yeah, that's it. Phone's reversed. Give more reversed war game. Alright, so green team TORAZ in this game going to be running Ohio, Incomparable, Napoli, Mothra, Nevsky, Gearing, Kleber, Marceau. Yeah, Kleber, Marceau. I was like, is that allowed? Is that yes, it is allowed. 3 French.
Yeah, and on the Silk side in red, we have Montana, Kremlin, Napoli, Moskva, Nevsky, Gearing, Double Marceau, and Shimakaze. So only 1 ship change from the last match, and that is the Minnow has been replaced by a Moskva.
That Dazzle Shimakaze is returning. He's going to be joined by an RPF Fearless Brawler, no AFT Marceau. An AFT no Fearless Brawler, RPF Marceau. Gearing, who is also running Dazzle. I don't get the Dazzle. I don't understand it. I was talking to...
The problem with,
you wanted to experiment with it.
yeah, and that's fair. But the problem with Dazzle is that its effect is so short, right? It's, and if you're running away, it's only going to be useful if you are already most of the way through your turn and you get spotted and then you get unspotted again. That's the only time it's useful. How often have we seen that?
We have an AFT Kleber and a no AFT Marceau on the TORAZ team. And then a no AFT Kleber, which this one I can respect. I respect the no AFT Kleber, but yeah. Income with the damage control mod instead of rudder mod. That's a choice. That's understandable. Moscow with leg mod. Nevsky with reload mod. Good. You don't want to be doing anything other than reload. This Ohio with rudder mod. I'm not a fan of rudder mod on a battleship, especially not that one. Unless that's Napoli I'm looking at. It's Napoli I'm looking at. Okay. Still don't get it on Napoli either.
Has
the Ohio
has the prop.
Yeah, they're like right stacked on top of each other, so it's hard to tell something. Gearing with leg mod, cool, like it. And then a Nevsky, who's also running reload mod. Yay! Alright, so nothing too spicy with the build department. Apart from, you know, some weirdness with the French. Alright, initial deployments. A cap. Napoli, Ohio, Gearing, Nevsky. B cap, Kleber, already parked in there, going to be contested by the opposing Marceau. C cap, we have Marceau, Kleber, Income, Moskva.
And on the red side, we have the Shimakaze, Napoli, Montana going towards A. Marceau's gone into B to contest. Moskva, Kremlin, Nevsky, Gearing, and Marceau are going C. What is your opinion, by the way, on a Napoli that's running the secondary module in the 3rd slot?
It's a good slot. It's actually completely fine. Napoli's secondaries are actually pretty ferocious. If you're planning on doing some heavy pushing with it, if you catch a DD in them, it's murder. If you get in a brawling range, it's murder. It depends if you want to use it as a brick and push, or if you want to use it kiting. If you want to use it kiting, If you want to use it as a brick and pushing, slightly better. It's a fine choice. I don't really have any arguments against Napoli with the secondary mod.
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm an aiming systems enjoyer almost on every ship I touch. But that's just because I like when I shoot that my guns go roughly in the direction I've pointed them.
So this this Nevsky radar is just gonna miss the Shimakaze. He's gonna be riding the border of it the entire time. Now he's back in it.
He's detected, he gets the cap, but he just leaves, I suppose.
Yeah, he's still going to take a couple of salvos, but he might not take that much damage. 20 seconds on it, and the Nevsky's not going to be able to chase him, so yeah, he's just away. And you got a nice little top spread that might be a big pain in the ass for that Gearing relatively soon. Nevsky is going to be hydroing it, so like, I think the Gearing gets past it?
The Nevsky's hydro will cover close to the Nevsky, right?
Well, the Gearing's decided to turn.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's in the gap,
yeah. Could have been some awkward drifting. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going down to J10. There is stuff happening. There is a Marceau versus Kleber versus. Oh god, that might be a dead Marceau. He's just completely caught in this 2v1 here.
Fairly certain this is going to be a dead Marceau, yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a
Nevsky's
painful
trying to help.
experience.
The Nevsky's not trying to help at all, actually. Seen
Well,
Nevsky shots coming in, and I'm like, yeah, that's trying to help, and I realised they're going for the incomp. And now the Nevsky's just driven out of the smoke. Bold.
Yeah, okay. This is a choice. This is a choice. He's chasing after the Marceau clever. He's pushing into an incomparable while he does it.
And broadside to a Moskva, which has switched to AP, funnily enough.
Oh, this might be a painful experience for him. Let's see what happens when Moskva
He's
AP
angled
meets
towards the
Nevsky.
Moskva now.
Now he's broadside the income. And the clever. And the Marceau.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on here.
Look, I think it's one of those
Because
cases
he's
where
going to
you
go broadside to the Moskva to get out again. And the Moskva's sat there waiting for it.
The Nevsky's on triple fire right now, or he was.
Incomp shots coming in.
Good night. All right. So, yeah.
Incomp showing why you can't compare it with anything. Especially not a Nevsky. As it turns out, that was...
Right, Gearing, you need to leave, buddy. you need to leave. Your team's dead. You're not having any help. This... Moskva needs to be careful.
There's a danger for Silk, yeah. Chestnut's Moskva? Probably needs to leave. And needs to do that thing where it runs to the island in the middle. Well, I suppose it's not getting farmed where it is, but it just can't back up because it's going to have an incomp on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they do have a Kremlin still there for however long until it gets torped by Kleber Marceau.
So, Napoli on Napoli violence right now. Secondary mod Napoli versus, you know, the aiming systems mod Napoli. Secondary mod should be helping out in this battle, but unfortunately he's decided, I'm going to turn full broadside and get secondary corner.
But I didn't see any secondaries come out from the red Napoli either.
I did. I saw lots of them. There were many secondaries.
So the green secondaries clearly just kept firing longer by the time I got my camera up there.
Oh well.
The red Moskva at B cap has suffered a few Ohio shots to the face, but the Kremlin has just decided it's leaving that whole area and is driving into B cap.
Sure, why not at this point? Make a play. Gearing is going to get ran down by this Marceau. There's no way he escapes.
Marceau coming back to help, but...
Yeah, but, like, there's a Kleber and an Incom and a Moskva.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he drops the smoke after the Marceau fires. Now that Marceau is bloom spotted by the other Marceau, so Gearing's going to get some free damage onto him here.
But why is the Gearing reversing towards it? You need to still be running.
Because he can't run. He can't run from a Marceau.
Yeah, but you extend the time, because he's now going to try and run now that he can't see it.
Well, no, the idea is he gets the damage onto him.
And then torps, I would hope. But, you know, he's not set himself up for the torps at all.
He's also dodging where he thinks that the Marceau thinks that he's going to be torping. Like, basically, the Marceau sees where the Gearing's chain fire is coming from, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to torp at that point in the smoke screen. So he's like, all right, if I do reverse,
quite well to do damage to both the green Marceau and the green Kleber.
Yeah,
well, the Gearing has left its smoke and decided to keep firing.
Ohio killed Moskva, by the way.
Yes, because the Moskva did the run that I thought it would make.
Yes, it got caught in the middle of the map.
However, the green Moskva has decided that broadside to the rear turret of a Kremlin is a good idea, especially when the Kremlin's going to try to get its...
That's completely fine. It's completely fine. Nothing will go wrong.
The reverse is frantically happening by the looks of it.
Nothing can go wrong here. Brody, nothing will go wrong. It's fine. The Kremlin won't hurt you.
Kremlins aren't real.
See? He didn't hurt you. 0 damage. 0. You're fine. Look, he's completely fine. Brody is completely fine.
On the rear turret. Oh, that's heartbreaking as the Kleber comes in to solve the problem.
You say it solved the problem. I think he might have whiffed some of these torps.
Yeah, but he's got
another rack, yeah.
Yeah.
Kremlins aren't real, they can't hurt you. See? It's just completely fine. If Brody was a diversion. Look, he didn't hurt you. You're still alive. It's fine. Back over to the DD fight.
It looks like Silk are reacting to this by pressing the W key on Napoli. Over at A-cap. They've changed their mind about the W key on Napoli. This has gone wrong for Silk. This is gone.
At
From the
what
moment
point do you
that
think
first
it went
Marceau
wrong?
happened, from the moment that Marceau ran into the Marceau Clabert in J10, this has just been. It's like they were at the top of a ski slope, and then they fell onto the ski slope with only one ski, and that's it.
Shimakaze got caught. I think Shimakaze goes down. So there's another shift. Montana
And then
taking
Montana,
tops as well.
yeah. And this is. This has been explosive.
Yeah, mostly for Silk. Oh dear. So jokes aside, we are probably going to be seeing a game 3 here.
Yes, we are. I think I'm just happy that we've seen an incomp introduce itself to a Nevsky.
I mean, the Kremlin introducing himself to the Moskva was also an experience.
Yeah, but it was an experience mostly for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
As it aimed at the belt of the angled Moskva and bounced off it on 4,000 health.
Oh, look, Silk got one back. They torpedoed the Napoli in the smoke screen over there. I just wasn't even
They
impressed.
did.
Oh,
They did.
it's just the farming begins on them.
Yeah, like, I don't like. The Montana is
Hinting.
about. Yes, it's about to be a torp enjoyer again.
It's fine. They're made of licorice. Tastes lovely. Actually, I hate licorice, to be honest with you. Montana throws a salvo out.
Don't tell Piper that he'll bring some.
Wait, to
Montana
where?
is just dead.
Yeah.
Next time he sees you at the Belfast event, because I think this is standard now.
The enemy is
I mean,
Yeah, at this point, I think it's just get the match over with. Unless you're the Girin.
Oh,
Girin
well-
is determined that he will solo warrior this.
There's a gearing somewhere? Oh yeah, yeah, there is. He's over there. He's having time of his life. Napoli gonna go down. This just leaves our sole survivor in the gearing. The best Brian gonna do his best. I'm going to sit here and do literally nothing to dodge your salvos. I'm
And
sitting
dodge
here
them anyway.
perfectly stationary. There we go.
There we go.
Dodging by staying perfectly still. They will never suspect it. It was Dazzle. It was because of Dazzle. It was definitely the Dazzle. It
So
wasn't
that
the
was-
Moskva Aviator. It was definitely Dazzle.
That was. I think we discovered why this map is referred to as Tears of the Cruiser. To be honest.
Why? Because you watch your destroyers run around a corner and explode before you can get there, and you cry about it. Because that's what happened in this game.
That's the first tier trickling down. The second tier is when the enemy battleship appears in your face, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
He chased after those DDs. I don't know what he expected though. Like, it's a 3 versus 4 versus 1 because the Moscow had cross shots as
So-
well. Who's he going to get
so-
support from? Does he expect to just
The
go around the
Nevsky.
corner? Yeah.
That Nevsky, surely the plan there is reverse, do a like a 5-point turn, and then drive out through the other end of the smoke screen as it goes down. Like surely that's
There are several issues. Because right, if you had the Nevsky kiting, you could at least held back that French DD push and stop you could have stopped the Kleber rotating back and doing the YOLO on the Kremlin that you had in the middle and all that kind of stuff, and there was like a series of events that happened in the middle there that would have meant that the Kremlin could have got another salvo at the Moscow, potentially taken that out. Although the Moscow probably wouldn't have been in that position by that point. But still, it's like this leads on to this, leads on to this, leads on to this. Like, I get the fact you want to push your Marceau around the corner early to get the early spots, but you know that they're also running French DDs. They are going to match you. And when your Nevsky gets smoked up in a position where he can't fire over that A10 island...
Yeah, and I've just been looking at your stream there, and it was at the precise moment that the Kremlin fired its rear turret into the belt of the Moskva to guarantee no kill.
Yeah, if that was
Any other point, any other like superstructure, bow,
Up a
would
bow.
have been the kill. Yeah.
Casemate. Well, casemate... Nah, you probably would have bounced up.
It needs- Yeah, well, I mean, it also did fire the bow turrets again after before it died, but it's
Yeah,
painful.
he'd already healed by then, so... That was a
Yeah,
that was a whole mess. Right. So
Northern
game
Waters.
3. Yeah. So about Northern Waters, I actually happen to know somebody who has done a little map introduction for this video, so I'm just gonna like throw it briefly over to that guy because I'm clueless as to what's going on anymore. So we'll ask him as soon as I figure out how to do it. Northern Waters, yes, game 3. In the southern Arctic Ocean lies an archipelago of Caledonian granite. Frigid and foreboding, these frozen rocks and sparse fauna will shortly become unwilling witnesses to the rigors of naval combat. This is Northern Waters. Northern Waters is a 42 by 42 kilometer domination style map with 3 cap points running in a line from west to east. The A cap is on the left, the B cap in the center, and C is on the right. Capture Area A is isolated from the map center by 2 large islands along the eastern edge. These islands provide limited cover for radar cruisers who may want to deploy nearby, while a narrow channel connects the cap to the middle of the map. In the center of the map, Cap B contains hard cover in the center of the cap for intrepid destroyer captains hoping to secure control. Just like the A cap though, there are islands along the eastern edge that provide at least some cover for radar cruisers to defend from. The scattered islands in and around Cap C create challenges on both offense and defense. Not only do they constrict the movement of battleships in the area, they provide places for lighter units to take shelter behind and launch ambushes from. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Northern Waters. That guy has a really annoying voice. So yeah, map 3 in this best 3 series, Northern Waters coming up soon. Any particular... Alright, so I haven't been seeing as much contesting over the one-line island as I'm used to in this tournament. I haven't been seeing any Des Moines rushes to the island and getting exploded on the route, despite the fact I love watching that. I love watching the classic Des Moines runs the guns past the smoke screen, blah 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 blah. I mean, we have Napoli to do it now and all that stuff, but like it just like in the games that we've cast, people have just not been focused on the island.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of the plays have seemed to be sort of this between B and C kind of play, where they focus on B cap in the middle and then they focus on the 9-10 line push of some sort, and it's sort of A cap has most of the time been an afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily need it. And if you overcommit to take that island, you need to have something there to protect it, and then you're committing multiple ships for somewhere that there isn't actually a fight happening. I mean, you can always rotate off it with, like, I don't know, it's just been less focused on than I'm used to. I'm used to, like, heavy A pushes, but it seems like teams much more prefer to focus on the C side these days, and then just take CB, and then you have to push out of A, and it's like, right, we have a Des Moines that was, like, anchored on the A-cap island, and now he has to come out of there, and there's literally nothing he can do, because he's, like, now opening water at BC. We've also seen quite a bit of smoke play in the middle as well. I've seen some weird stuff getting smoked up in the middle, like Woosters and Fireclaws and... Hell, I think we even saw a Nevsky get smoked up to the B cap at the start of one of the games yesterday.
We did. Yeah, we did. Was that in the Rain Penta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Rain Penta games on that map a lot of times, and it's really, like, there is a lot of, like, smoke pressure at B cap. Last time I think I was Woosters and all sorts of stuff. Okay, can you remember what the bans are for this series? Because I've already forgotten.
The bans for this series,
Ragnar, Vincent, yeah. That's why we're not seeing Vincent. That's why we saw the income.
Income is a ship that I love, but
it's been superseded by Vincent, basically. Like, Income had its moment last COTS before Vincent existed. You know what I mean? And then we got
Was
Vincent.
it shown off perfectly by the famous Killabin?
No, it was shown off quite well by a couple of teams who used it in a couple of strats on basically like extreme islands, such as the ones that we have on that previous map. On Piers of the Desert, you got far northeast, far southwest. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about, but yeah, we have game 3.
The 2 qualities that it maintains over Vincent is concealment and overmatch.
Yeah.
But does that matter when you can citadel it by looking at it? You know.
Not really. Alright, who's going to be the green team? Is once again going to be TORAZ, so that's once again on the spawns reverse scene, which means that all 3 games could have just started the other way around. Use the regular spawn scene. That's the whole thing. So, green team for this game, and game 3 of this best of 3 will indeed be TORAZ, and they're going to be running Yamato, Kremlin, Des Moines, Moskva, Petropavlovsk, Gearing, Daring, Moscow, and Haragumo for DD strat.
And Silk are bringing in Ohio, Schlieffen, Moskva, Nevsky, Petropavlovsk, Gearing, Daring, Double Marceau.
For DD strat. Lots of DDs going in this one. So
And
probably...
there's Schlieffen. So there's
Yeah.
5 DDs, right?
Well, it's got a torpedo, so it's got torpedoes, so it must be a destroyer. I mean, and actually, they've also got a Nevsky, that's also a destroyer, 'cause it's got torpedoes, and yeah, so they've actually running 6 destroyers.
I think we've seen a very solid case as to why Nevsky is not a destroyer last battle.
What do you mean? It got destroyed. It was definitely much destroying.
Sure did.
Yeah. Would that mean that the income was a destroyer in that game? I mean,
But we
was
all
got
know that
torpedoes.
anyway.
Yeah. So does that mean that Druid and Ragnar aren't destroyers? I mean, basically Ragnar's a small cruiser, I suppose. So yeah, they don't have torps, so they're disqualified. The mini Minotaur is disqualified from being a destroyer. It is now a very small cruiser. We'll call it a frigate. Is that fine? Will be a frigate. Alright, enough of that. Initial deployments. Oh, at the A cap, we're sending a Marceau and a Kremlin. B cap is going to be Daring, Haragumo. It looks like the Moscow is going to hover around the AB island here. Don't know what he's going to do exactly. At C cap, we're going to be sending a Gearing, Des Moines. It's going to be a little smoke screen pair. Petropavlovsk probably going to be positioning at the island above B, and the Yamato is going to be parked up behind them, just looking for shots all over the map.
Silk are running double Marceau over to A in perfect synchronized sailing almost. They're probably hoping to ambush whatever gets there or just take the cap outright, but if they do catch that Marceau, that'll be painful. They've got a Schlieffen and a Moskva following up, a Daring on its own going towards B. Petropavlovsk looks like he's angling for the island south of B, southeast of B, and the Gearing, Nevsky, and Ohio are making their way over to C cap.
So Gearing, Nevsky versus Gearing, Des Moines, when those 2 smoke screens collide, it's going to be an initial advantage for the Nevsky with its longer range radar. However, once that starts going down, the Des Moines wins on this because it has better smoke concealment, better DPM, better AP angles, and just roll around. It depends. If the Ohio and Yamato get involved, then it could go either way. But once it gets a bit later and they start doing a hard push with the Gearing, I can see some more impact from the Des Moines. I would rather have a Haragumo if you want to do the force pushing. The Gearing's alright for general purpose smoke though. Anyway, back over at A, we did see that the 2 Marceaus versus the 1 Marceau did happen, and CPR's decided, you know what, fuck that, not interested. Not interested, go away.
Yeah. CPR had started turning out and slowing down when the A cap started to turn red, and then it started to do it very fast. It immediately was aware that's probably 2 DDs, and if they're as fast as me, they're Marceaus, and I'm not interested.
Both the red Marceaus aren't running AFT, so they will have better bloom, so they can despot a lot easier after 1v1. Anyway, back over at the middle, we have a radar coming in for the Petropavlovsk. We have Daring on Daring action.
We do the Silk Daring coming off at worse initially.
Initially, but now the green Daring is still caught in the radar.
With the radar,
yeah.
Yeah, the radar. It's about equal, so not so bad. But the Moskva just sitting in the open water there, not having a fun time in front of Haragumo.
Des Moines pops his Hydra really late on. He's going to discover these torpedoes a little bit later than he would like to, but he's going to be getting away with it. However, he is caught in, this is what we say, the Nevsky has a longer range radar. He's going to be spotting the Gearing here. He's also going to be catching the Des Moines in it, and we have an Ohio with the spot plane up ready to take salvo whenever he wants. Going to be looking to see if he can find a nice little angle. So this is really the one salvo that the Des Moines has to worry about. It looks like he's just going to sit there. He's going to start reversing. He's going to take absolutely 0 damage because, fuck you. And then they can turn up and around and then drop his own radar, spot the Gearing in it. More radars come out from the Petropavlovsk at the same time. He's going to be catching the Daring in the middle as well. So it's going to be a lot of focus fire and some DDs right now. Although the B cap Daring.
Interestingly enough, Lovecat and the Red Daring did not use their heal yet. It's a bit of an odd choice to me, that, because Daring's heal does heal so little that you may as well just be using it straight away.
Yes and no. So, basically, healing will restore the saturation to parts of your ship, so you'll be taking more damage to the next trade. If you haven't taken that much damage, it's sometimes better to just hold on to the heal so you can just, resaturate yourself. It's a minor optimization, but it's there. Plus, also, you've got more adrenaline rush going out as well.
Yeah, the problem with that is when you're doing the constant contest that they're doing, you do have to wait, is it 80 seconds between the heals? And you might accidentally find yourself at a disadvantage if you've still got a heal and cooldown when you get caught out.
Risk versus reward, because in those fights, if you're on the lower health, you will have more adrenaline rush. You will have you know, you can come back for the fight. So if you're constantly on lower health during all these fights, you can have more adrenaline rush, and then you can go back and heal, and then you've done more DPM over the course of the battle. So it's a minor optimization, but it's a lot of risk to take it.
It is, yeah. And here's the training going. Source has a heal available, pops it. Lovecat does not, but doesn't have to worry about radar for the next 45 seconds.
Yeah, now the daring heals. I was like, okay, I don't like being hurt now. I would like to have some of my shit back, please.
Yeah, as we were talking about that, Lovecat's hit their heal, so not too far apart in the cooldowns, but it looks like that Source has taken enough damage that they probably can't reliably contest that anymore. They've got no damage control on their own fire as well.
Nevsky and Mine both took a couple of chunks at some points from, I think it was mostly the battleships. I want to point out that Schlieffen has taken the anchor position that we usually see reserved for the Mines and Napolis and that kind of thing. He's going to be providing excellent zone control over there. Anything wants to try and dislodge him, he has torpedoes. Like, if something comes around the corner, one of these two, like, Marceaus to try and rush him, he can probably torp it back, and then also is going to take a shitload of secondary hits, probably
fire.
hits on the way. Yeah, it's going to be a painful experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when he has has his own defensive Marceau marking him. So, like, you know, they might just have the chain resets. Even if you try to save your DCP during that rush, you might get a double end cap. You got 5 seconds to try and fire.
And we see the Red Marceau coming over to help speed up the B cap to just get this done with. Take the cap. They have successfully pushed the Green Darien all the way off. I don't see the Darien taking part in much more of this match, to be honest.
Ohio
they're now a torpedo boat.
The Mine Radar comes out, catches the gearing over at sea. Nevsky's parked behind that rock. The gearing's going to be just on the outskirts of that radar. He's going to just nudge himself out. He's like, you know what? I don't like it here. I'm going to leave now. Bye.
So either I suppose the Des Moines taking quite a few bow, maybe citadels from the Ohio here, because just looking at the amount that it can heal back, and there's not much there.
Yeah, but look at the Nevsky. He's been abandoned, and he's got Yamato raining down on his face. Like, there's no smoke cover. This gearing has just left his Nevsky. So, so basically, this Des Moines could potentially make some sort of play with his backup of his gearing friends. Like, maybe advance the smoke forward. Doesn't have no Ohio to worry about, though.
Yeah, it looks like the red gearing is coming back. It abandoned him just because of the Des Moines radar and not wanting to take damage, but
yeah, but you have to make the run
so far away. Yeah, putting yourself so far away from the ship you're meant to be covering means that there's always this game that takes time to fix.
So with the position,
I thought the Des Moines was pushing up there. It's just crashing the island. It's just going to live behind that island, I suppose, for a while.
I just wanted to mention that the gearing could have pushed up and respotted the. Like, the green gearing could have positioned it in such a way to have the Nevsky perma shot blocked and spot out the gearing if he tries to return to his friendly Nevsky, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening.
Over in the middle, we do have Haragumo Daring farming the soul out of the Moskva down at the bottom of the ACAP island there.
We did, but now he's been zoned off by the Marceau. Petro Radar comes out, fully spotting stuff, including the gearing that we were just talking about previously. You know, this Yamato is kind of extending quite far forward. He's going to be able to do some damage to the Nevsky. I just worry that if, like, they turn on him with the Daring, Marceau, Ohio, Nevsky, Gearing,
sorry,
all at
Des Moines
once.
in danger here. Des Moines pushed far enough forward that the Ohio can land shots into the side of his bow. He took one, but it went through the bow and was likely only an overpen, and he's trying to reverse to get away from that.
Yeah, he's grinding along that now.
That was very lucky that he didn't take that Ohio shell further onto the guns, because that might have been devastating.
So taking stock of the situation, Silk ahead on caps, very, very hard. Ahead on points, 440 up. However, then Nevsky is in a lot of trouble here.
It is, yeah.
Des Moines radar's up in 15 seconds. Yamato's going to be looking for him. There's blind fire still flying out from the Kremlin. Radar comes out from the Nevsky first. We'll be picking up the gearing.
So look at the disposition of firepower here. We've got TORAZ are putting a Kremlin into B to pause the points, but look where all the TORAZ ships are. They're all bunched up.
And Nevsky got himself bloom spotted.
We have a Schlieffen who's just sat the one line without anything to do, really. I know it's holding the position, it's anchoring it, but...
Yeah, but he's zoning out two ships right now, so...
Yeah, but for how long until
Nevsky not dead?
Reposition them or so?
He's been spotted this entire time.
Russian bias or something. Doing its job is, I think, what we can say there, and still, doing damage into that gearing. The Ohio is making that Des Moines uncomfortable.
Yeah, he does have to worry about this, like, immediately. Moyne is going to be radaring this Nevsky. Kremlin salvo comes out. Is it going to finish him? Finally takes the Nevsky down. But...
Yeah, Des Moines going to go down for it.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of expected. They took so long with that. The Des Moines getting farmed by,
Yeah.
you know, Petro, Gearing, Marceau. This is what I was afraid of was going to happen to the Yamato, who is currently still extending forward. With this Ohio over here, he could be a pain in the ass of the side, or the side of this Yamato as well, and the Petro. Yeah, actually, that Ohio has like dangerously good broadside shots on this Pavlov. He's interested in that instead of the Des Moines. He's gonna.
Yeah.
Des Moines goes down. Petro has noticed
I think
the
some
Ohio.
Gearing torps on its push as well, but we can see the Kremlin they pushed into B has discovered that Marceaus exist.
The Ohio has discovered the Petro. It did no damage, but he discovered it.
The Schlieffen at A cap is also firing across to the Kremlin and B. M's, you know, there's a lot of health they can bring back thanks to the fact that it's all just HE damage and fire damage being done. But it's not a. You are in danger of being overwhelmed there if you mismanage the damage controls and the heals and such. So it's going to be an interesting position and how long they can hold the or delay the points gain there.
The Schlieffen left the island, and now the Moscow's pushing it. Haragumo, what a gunboating, very bold choice, I must say, in front of like all these ships that are currently there. You know, Kremlin's gonna go down. I think.
Yeah.
3,000 health.
Well, the Kremlin's healing, damage control is on, but 3,000 health. With the Marceau doesn't care about the Haragumo because it knows the Kremlin's out in Ohio.
Ohio.
Coming in, I presume.
Literally no damage.
But you know, that heal only lasts another 10 seconds, and it's not going to heal enough this time around.
Well, you never know. A miracle might happen. The daring might come
The
smoke 'em.
Marceau might detonate. Marceau got slapped, that's for sure. But the Marceau is probably not going to be concerned enough about that slap until the Kremlin goes down. And there it goes. Darien's going to take its place.
Yeah.
Petro doesn't have any radars, and the Moscow doesn't have a radar for another minute, so the Darien can actually take that gap.
Well, he can, but at the same time, the red daring just run in there and just base. But I think he really can't because of the positioning of Brody's Petro and the Yamato and the Haragumo and all. Okay.
And the red Darien is too far out. Darien's
Haragumo
not
gets
fast.
caught by Moskva Hydro? Question mark? No, he must have just got shooting spotted. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know. So the TORAZ have taken A. They're likely to take B before it can be stopped. Their Moskva's pushed up on the Schlieffen, who is just responding with secondaries, as you would expect.
Moscow radar already in.
No, the Darien's spotted.
14 seconds.
The Darien's hydroed by the Petro. That's a development.
Marceau gonna be opening up on him. Should be able to lob this actually. Marceau, yeah, that Marceau can lob that.
Yeah, that Darien's in a lot of trouble here. The red Darien is coming back. I think Marceau can still lob it. Not quite.
I mean,
But
there is a Gearing in an Ohio and another Marceau that will be able to get shots on. Like, the Ohio's probably looking at him right. Actually, no, you know what the Ohio's going to be looking at? He's going to be looking at this Yamato. There's, like, a whole thing happening. And speaking of the Yamato, there's torpedoes at the side of the Ohio. Ohio goes down to Gearing torpedoes. Now this leaves the Yamato in a 1v1 versus, like, a Gearing. Actually, I suppose this Marceau exists as well. Okay, back to
the
B
Marceau's
cap.
up there. B cap, the Haragumo got radared and took another hit from the Moskva. They're going to try and farm this Moskva down, but the red Darien is pushing in for source here.
I need everything in shot. Okay, yeah, so the Marceau catches up with the Gearing back here. Gearing does not have a smoke. Gearing might go down here. He is going to be ran down by this Marceau if he's not careful.
There it is. That was quite a strong volley to finish that as well. That was 2,500 damage. But that is what the Marceau is capable of if it lands enough shells in a single volley, right?
Daring on Daring. Actually, no.
Terrifying.
Moskva takes that. So Silk pulling back 2 kills. You have Silk 60 points in it. Silk getting another kill. This is over.
Yeah, and they're going to probably take C-Cap here. Sorry, no. C-Cap's being paused by the Yami.
Oh, Brody gets death struck.
Petro and Petro violence. 2 points in it. That Yami is the only reason this battle is not over.
I mean, the battle is over.
Yes, well,
There we go. There's Yamato.
on a technically speaking point, Silk take it. After what was can only be described as a sort of like the disastrous second battle, they do take this third battle.
The magical disappearing Petropavlovsk at the end there. Oh boy. Yeah. Don't worry, it's balanced now. Look.
It's
I've been
balanced by other Petros.
Yeah. I've been pinged in the back rooms. Going on here. Right, anyway, yeah, so that was game 3, best of 3 series. Silk going to be advancing to the next stage. TORAZ is going to be going down to the... look, there's a very
So
complicated
TORAZ will be
double elimination
playing
bracket.
BT.
Okay, BT,
Shaft going
CIS
2-0 up
import.
against Throw.
That's
Yes.
unexpected, isn't it?
And Rain 2-0 against Paid with a 4. So I believe you said our winner bracket, our next match is winner bracket 2.1.
Which should be Shaft versus Rain.
Yes.
Right. Whoa. Okay.
That last battle there was an interesting contest.
Oh yeah.
Silk doing quite well to. It takes a little bit of composure as a team to come back from just having yourselves get rolled so hard, so sort of unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to have that happen to you and just to be like, I don't care anymore. Doing quite well to come back from that, and I don't really know. I didn't expect it. I don't think the Schlieffen did much, and that kind of interests me. The Schlieffen just sort of sat there, and was never pressured until the very end. But by the time it got pressured, it had already left. It was an interesting one, that.
Yeah, there was some definitely interesting situations developing in that game. So the smoke screens meeting each other, and then both of the cruisers kind of being locked bow in. It's not really what you want to be. You don't really want to be bow in with a smoke plate unless you're going to be doing some sort of deep pushing, and they didn't really have the setup to do deep pushing because you had 2 overmatched battleships on either side. You had the Ohio waiting for the Des Moines, and you had the Yamato waiting for the Nevsky, and both of them just sat there and took it. Like, if you had them both kiting with their 2 smoke screen supports, you could have sat there and farmed out both battleships. Obviously, you know, there would be some destroyer interaction in the meantime, and maybe the Des Moines doesn't want to be kiting so much because he like gives up the extra 2 kilometers each time from the Nevsky's radar range. But like the amount of time that we just saw that Nevsky was stuck bow in while he was bloom spotted from shooting at the gearing, and he just had to go deeper and deeper in, and he's like going at the Yamato's face. Fair enough, they ended up with a win on that one, but this bow in gameplay for the smoke cruisers is going to be a painful experience if they continue doing it.
Yeah. It's interesting, the effect that Nevsky's. I seem to remember there was a point where that smoke screen in Northern Waters, I think maybe the first time it was in King of the Sea, the push was a legendary Haragumo or Yu Yang, both with double Des Moines behind it because raw firepower, raw DPM is terrifying. And then Nevsky comes along and starts to. I kind of think that Nevsky was already around by then, but people weren't. Maybe it was an NA thing. People weren't interested in it as much, or they thought that Des Moines, like double Des Moines, was just a better strat. And then it seems Nevsky is almost taking that role entirely to itself.